What's up? What's up? What's up? Happy Friday. It's that time of week. Started a little early. Hope everybody's having a good week. I'm going to dive right into it here in just a minute. You guys know the routine. Let's get a few people on here. Have them jump on, say hello. How was everybody's week this week, though? Was it like a weird week? I just felt like it was different. Like every opposing force that could put something up against it. It's kind of what I felt. I felt like there was a lot of weight on my shoulders this week, and it kind of I'm gonna be honest with you, it kind of sucked. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of sucked. But the good news is today's a new day, and we're gonna make it better. So there's that. I'm gonna turn this down here because you guys are gonna hear this here. Sorry. But if you see this, if you're on, when you jump on, say hello. Let me know what's going on. Where are you guys at in the out there in the old interwebs? Don't be shy. I'm just trying to share this out here. Um, so yeah, crazy week though. It just felt like a weird week. And some of you, I know some of you, it's like, hey, how come you're not dressed up today? And what's up with the lighting? Well, my lighting sucks, always has. Jumped on, bro. Thanks, D. I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, broke the phone because I couldn't handle all this good looks. What you see here, is that what it was? Yeah, I dressed down today because all the jackets and suits are packed. We're gonna be traveling this weekend and all next week. Podfest, Denver. Looking forward to it. Listen, if you're in Colorado, if you're in and around the Denver area, hit me up. Send us a DM. I'd love to meet up with you guys while I'm out there. I'll be out there all next week. Um, I get out there Sunday mid morning, and I'll be there till Friday. So I would love to meet up with you guys. If you're in Colorado, come on up. I'll be out in Denver that whole week for podcast movement. So, and if you're going to podcast movement, let me know. You guys, those of you that are going, get the app. Let's set up an appointment and let's get together. So, but yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. But listen, let's this week, crazy week. I'm gonna jump into this because this whole thing in Maui. I'm gonna jump into to this because there's so many things I've been following on this fires in Maui, right? How many of you have been tracking it? Like really looking into it? So it's kind of weird because I've heard like three or four different versions over the last several days. Hey Ken, what's up, brother? Good morning to you. So when Maui was first reported, it said the fire may have been caused by damage from power lines, and this was an independent report that claimed this. Now this was on ABC News. I'm gonna post these like I do, so you guys see that I literally I got a lot of these articles from a source of mine who's in Japan that's tracking it over there. I looked up some other articles, and it's really interesting to see how the different news organizations are either changing their stories or just the stories are just completely different. So, this first one from ABC News first reported Maui fire may have been caused by damage to the power lines. Okay. Next one that I found was, believe it or not, from our friends over at CNN. Okay, I tried to say that with a straight face. Sorry. So this next one from CNN, Maui's emergency management chief resigns, citing health reasons, a day after he defends Sirens silence during the deadly wildfires. Now, the siren part, I want to focus on this real quick. And you guys leave a comment if you guys have heard anything different than what I'm saying, or if you've heard the same thing, whatnot. I was told that the and in reading this that the chief defended himself for not using the sirens during the wildfire. Another story that I saw on the news, what was it, 2 days ago, and I forget which news organization, but this one was on TV, and they were interviewing a gentleman, and he was talking about how he was walking, and the police weren't waving people through. They weren't letting them out of the danger area. There was like, nope, you can't stay here. You have to go here or whatnot. And it was just kind of weird. Things weren't adding up. Does that make sense? So things weren't adding up. And then to have the chief say that, oh, we didn't put the sirens on, and then he defends that, and then the very next day he resigns. Health reasons. Okay, well, maybe choked on too much smoke because anyway, sorry. But it just starts to seem weird when you start looking at that. Yeah, Steve, I hear you there, man. So the next one kind of goes back to the power lines. Now this one is from the Washington Post, and again, you guys are seeing where I'm getting these articles from. So don't take my word for it. I'm posting these from different news sources on what they're covering. Joe, you gotta learn to pick up your phone, man. Morning, Fluffy. I'm down 20 pounds. What are you talking about there, Slim? It's good to see you, brother. I'm glad you came over. Thanks for jumping on, man. I hope all is well. Joe, ladies and gentlemen, is one of our community heroes. He's got 20 plus years in the military. He's signed up for more, probably against his better judgment. I don't know. But he's also one of the local PD guys. I won't say which city, but Joe, miss you, brother. And he's one friend that I've had for nearly a decade. There was a group of us that we hadn't met. I've met all the other ones other than Joe because he can't seem to get his stuff together. But that's all right. We love you anyway, Joe. All right, back to the power lines. You guys see that I'm posting these from different sources. So this last one, power lines likely caused Maui's fire. Video and data shows. Another one, Hawaiian Electric. This is the next one. Hawaiian Electric focused obsessively on renewable energy while only spending $245,000 on wildfire safety. This one here, this article came from the Daily Mail, and this one here reading this one it's quite disturbing. So yeah, it's not. This one you look at, like, how do you do this and not be prepared for certain things? Yes, Steve, I do have some friends. You guys, I'm telling you, I love it. So how do you look at what's happening in Maui and then just say, okay, it's natural causes, or a lot of fires are started by people. But this particular one, there's a lot of evidence showing that it was power lines that could allegedly had started this. So this is really interesting that this is happening. What are you guys thinking? And again, don't take my word for it. That's why one, two, three, four different resources. Other news outlets. Granted, there are mainstream media, but there are other places that I have given you guys this stuff to look this up, because something's not adding up about these Maui fires right now, and it's very, very disturbing. Stephanie, good morning. How are you? Appreciate you jumping on. Thank you very much. Hope all is well. Now I got one more thing about these Maui about the Maui fires, and this one's really I don't even know how to say it, but this came from the Independent. Let me post it here real quick. This one came from the Independent, and it's very disturbing. Hey Nicole, good morning. Appreciate you jumping on. Thanks for being here. This last one in regards to what's going on in Maui came from the Independent, and it said Biden slammed for offering an insulting $700 payment to Maui wildfire victims. Again, this is coming from somewhere else. I happened to see this particular article. I saw it. It's one of those really, and I think normally do I believe it? I'm not saying I believe the article completely. Have you seen it anywhere else? But Biden offering $700 payment. This could be one of those click ones. This is the first time I've looked at the Independent as a source or whatnot. So I'm not going to say either way. But this information I'm giving you guys, there's plenty of it. You can put the puzzle pieces together and figure out what's really going on. Let's say hypothetically. Let's just say hypothetically that was the case, and Biden offered a $700 payment to the wildfire victims. If that's really the case, then we should be infuriated by that because of all the money that we're giving to the Ukraine, right? One could argue that, and there was another article that it just literally hit the top of my head about Ukraine. I wasn't going to necessarily bring it up, or I had saved it and I didn't keep it, but it was something along the lines of the money going there and what's really going on in Ukraine with certain bio labs and whatnot. And that would make sense if you look at the history of things, and why do you create bio labs and stuff in third world countries? Well, it's cost effective first and foremost. Two, you can wash your hands of it pretty easily, right? And again, I didn't wake up this morning. Okay, today's show. Let's cause conspiracy theory. That's not my intent today. It's one of those, like, you really don't have to. You don't have to have a master's degree. You really don't need a degree to put the puzzle together on what's going on. You just need to pay attention of what's happening, and you have to ask questions. Now, this is where our government unfortunately doesn't like people asking questions. It's more along the lines of they want people to just fall in line and do what they're told. And those of you that have known me for a very long time know that I can't do that. So what do we have here? Yeah, Steve. So it is a legit story. Steve, thank you. See, Steve's my go-to guy. Stephanie, the way the government is spending our money is quite disturbing. It really is. It's disturbing on so many levels, and I'm really kind of peeved at myself now that I didn't find that other article that I wanted to find about the Ukraine and the bio labs. Maybe I'll do that next week, and I'll focus more on Ukraine, biolabs, and kind of the my favorite person in the world, Mr. Bill Gates. Maybe we'll do that next week. If I remember, because I said I was going to do a happy hour this week, and the week got away from me. It was crazy. Steve, hello, mate. How are you? Thank you for jumping on. I appreciate it. They want, yeah, Stephanie. They do. Let me ask you guys this: do you guys and gals, do you folks, with everything that's going on right now, And I'm focusing more. We have friends overseas and whatnot. Let me those of you that are overseas that watch this, let me know what you guys are seeing in your side of the world. But here locally in the United States, do you guys are think that we're on the verge of another civil war? Is that something that is, it's been talked about the last couple of years? I think it when it first started, it was probably used more as a propaganda um, machine. But I can't help but to think that maybe we're at a time now where perhaps that is something that could potentially happen. The one thing I have not brought up, and I didn't grab any of the links for it, and you guys can certainly do this on your own. Stephanie, you think so, huh? Okay. Any particular reason, Stephanie? Um, but one of the I didn't grab the certain links, and I didn't really talk about it yet. Was all the indictments that President or former President Trump is going through, and it you say Trump, and all of a sudden I'm going to lose half of you here in a minute, and we're going to get shadow banned again. Um, it's You look at what's going on, whether you like him or not. It kind of raises a question of why is there so much focus on him. But then you look at people in the past that have been in leadership positions in our government, like Clinton's, Biden's, Obama's, even Bush's, and whatnot. It really doesn't matter what side of the aisle that you sit on. It's who's covering up what and why. And I think we can all agree that a lot of it comes down to money, right? Steve, what do we have here? Right. No, Steve, I totally agree with that. And here's the other thing about Ukraine. Like everybody's like, "Hey, we're pushing money to Ukraine. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're helping Ukraine people." I have several neighbors in my neighborhood that are from Ukraine that have come there. They have family back there. Um, and what's really mind blowing to me is that prior to the last election, you talk about or you have people talking about how Hunter Biden was part of a company over there and X, Y, and Z. And again, I didn't put notes on this. This is all kind of off the top of my head. Maybe I'll do this topic at a later date. But in the meantime, he was money was going over there, and you have President Biden on television, on video, boasting about how he said, "Hey, unless that prosecutor or that attorney gets fired, we're not giving you the money." Like that's not me. It's not Adam Bird saying that. That's on the internet. Like go see that. They've played that on major news outlets. Like that's not a secret, but yet we brush that under the rug. And why? I wonder. Stephanie, what do we have here? Stephanie, yeah, no, and it's right. It happened long before they. Why do you, and here's the other thing. I agree with you, Ken. You want to hide corruption and start a war. Why do we want to start a war? Here's a question for you. Why do we want to start a war? Stephanie, the Biden Harris. Money, Steve, money. Okay, so we want to start a war for money and power, right? I think the other thing is resources, right? Here's the other thing. You look at what's really going on in the world. Take a step back and unplug from the United States for a second and just look at what's going on elsewhere in the world. We talk about third world countries and how bad they have it, and they do. And this is something I'm actually ashamed to admit that I've said this, but years and years ago, I started saying the United States is turning into a third world country. Maybe not a third world country in a sense that a lot of us veterans have known or seen, or other people that have gone to other third world countries. Not to that extent per se, but we're taking that mindset, or we've taken that mindset. Let's be honest, we've taken that mindset And our government has led us down that path. Excuse me. Can immunity from yeah, and that's just it. It's like who's got the bigger in the locker room, and let's see who can save what from what. Here's the other thing. Do you guys ever wonder why it just seems like convenience? And I don't even know how to compare it, but they can find everything that Trump's ever done wrong, but they can't find the list from Epstein Island. Right? Does that boggle anybody else's mind? Like, or they can find what's wrong with X, Y, and Z with Trump or with this person here, but they can't find the 33,000 emails that Hillary deleted. Speaking of Hillary, did you notice that she's back in the news? I've started seeing her on the news a little bit more. And there's actually a tropical storm named after her. How ironic is that? Tropical storm Hillary could become a hurricane and bring rarely seen high impact rain to the California desert. The jokes write themselves, guys. I can't. It's kind of ironic. Hurricane Hillary is going to impact the California desert and flood it. I'm sure it's probably to hide the bodies even more. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, let's I'm sorry. Let's move on from all that. But take a look at what's really going on and see what's happening. This Maui thing, I don't think this is the last of it. I think this story is going to go well into next week, and let's see what happens with it. Joe, why can't you stand sand deserts? They're so much fun. Hey, listen, guys. I got to get into some of these other things. What's going on here? Podcasters, authors, we want you. Come over to Heroes Media Group right now. We're looking for new shows that want to join the network. If you have a podcast and you want to increase your audience, be a part of a great network, go to heroesmediagroup.com and you can send us an email, info@heroesmediagroup.com, and let's set up an appointment and get you on here. Same thing with authors. If you have a book and you're looking to turn that book or your novel into an audio book, that's something that we specialize in, and we'd be happy to help you out. Email info@heroesmediagroup.com with the subject line book, and one of our associates will give you a call and set up an appointment with you. So check it check, check, check it out. We would love to have you. I mentioned earlier that Sunday I'm heading out to Denver, Colorado. So if you're out in the Denver area or in Colorado, period, and you want to come out to Denver, I'm going to be at Podcast Movement all next week. I'm looking forward to it. Let's link up. What else do we have coming up? End of September. As of right now, end of September. Here, All Heroes Welcome Ball, Tampa, Florida, with our friends at Team Atto. Go to teamatto.org, click on their events page, get down to Tampa, check this out. This is a welcome ball. It's freaking awesome. It's a 1920s theme this year. It's always a lot of fun hanging out with the Team Atto group. I think last year there was over 500 people that showed up for the welcome ball. And then the next day, September 30th, is going to be the All Heroes Open Fishing Tournament. This is awesome. They take you on chartered boats out into the bay. You get to fish all day. It's just a lot of fun. So please go check out teamatto.org and support if you can. Another thing about Team Atto is, listen, they have this Bronco that they're giving away. You guys have heard me talk about it the last couple months. They have quite a few tickets left that are available, and they're doing the raffle right now. It's $100. And for some of you, it's like, oh, it's $100 for a ticket. That seems like a lot. But don't look at it that way. Look at this $100 is going to help transitioning service members back into the civilian sector. So look at it like you are helping a transitioning service member by purchasing this ticket. Furthermore, it's a 1 in 5,000 chance of winning. That's the best odds on any competition that you're going to get right now. It may be. That's what my wife said, Ken. But this thing, it's completely tricked out. We absolutely love it. It's $100. Go check it out. Again, that $100 is going to help a transitioning service member get out. Plus, so you win this 2022 custom Ford Bronco, and they're going to give you $10,000 cash for registration, tax and registration. So check it out. You can see that on the teamoutta.org website as well. We got new sponsors for the network. So right now, in fact, one of them is on right now. Jim, what's up, brother? I'm just about ready to talk about you. So Jim's Live Bait and Tackle, good friend of ours for many years. Absolutely love it. He's in Southern PA. Go down to Aquatuya Reservoir. Great fishing down there. Jim will take care of you. You can do boat rentals, kayak rentals. It's freaking awesome. You got to check it out. So if you're ever in the PA area or Northern Maryland, come on up and make sure you look up Jim. Stop by and tell him the HMG sent you. Another great sponsor that just came on board with us is Warriors on the Water LTD. Great organization. They do a lot of fishing stuff for veterans and first responders. So check them out, Warriors on the Water LTD, and I will post their information here just after the show. But right now, they are doing they got a gun raffle that's going on right now. So follow them on Facebook. Go to their website and check it out. Alan, what's up, brother? How are you? Alan is the great guy. He's my neighbor and just a good human. No, Jim, you're not late to the party. You're not late, brother. So check out Jim Neary's Bait and Tackle. Thank you for your guys' sponsorship. Warriors on the Water LTD. Both of you guys, welcome to the HMG family. We appreciate you guys sponsoring us for the next year. So we're excited to have you guys. Check it out. And if you really want to check it out, their stuff right now, go to heroesmediagroup.com. They're on our sponsor page. Go check them out. All right, let's get into some of the shows and what you missed this week, because some of the shows this week are absolutely mind-blowing. Carry on politics. This week they're talking with Republican congressional candidate Mike Cargile, who was running or is running for California District 35. Mr. Cargile is a veteran, amongst many other things, and he's running for the second time against incumbent Noma Torres. You can check it out and listen. You can check out all the shows right now, heroesmediagroup.com. Click on podcasts. You'll see all the shows here. So that is Carry On Politics. Welcome back. The Power Investing People podcast with Shay Sparks this week. If you're overwhelmed with junk in your life, some of you have not seen this room yet. In this episode, special guest Logan Carnes shares his story of selling drugs to finding inspiration to start a junk removal business and his passion for the environment. This is a really cool show, so check it out. This is the Power Investing People podcast with Shay Sparks. Next week, Shay's actually going to be in Denver with us, so I'm looking forward to a little HMG reunion at Podcast Movement next week. All right, next up we got On the Other Side of the Firewall. These guys are great. I love this show, and if you're not an IT person, this is a great show to learn about how to protect your computer, your IT, and your digital ID, I guess is what they call it. Joe, you got a lot of junk. No comment. They do a show on the other side of the firewall. They do a show every day. Some of the ones this week were Wednesday, attending DEF CON at your own risk. That's actual conference. let's see here. Mondays was Windows Defender Pretender attack. So I don't know if you use Windows or not. Apparently there was an attack. And then Google pays Apple $15,000 for a bug bounty. That was a pretty interesting. So just check it out. This is a great show. You learn a lot from it. Definitely something you want to pay attention to. The other side of the firewall. Next up, we got the Misfit Nation podcast. These guys do a show a couple times a week. I love this show. The one I picked this week was Pam Sherman. She was a special guest. She's been a fitness wellness instructor for over 24 years as a group exercise instructor trainer. She's a running coach and a food coach. She wants to help women feel amazing in their own skin. Also, she wants to teach them how to eat for their health and weight loss and move for lifelong wellness. It was a great episode. She's a 7-time author. She's an international speaker, and she is a coach on the Fit Radio app as well. So check it out. That's the Misfit Nation podcast. Next up, we got our friends over at Pushing Back Chaos. This one here is going to get you. Playing the cards you are dealt with versus the cards that you wanted. We all have plans in life. I get it. Hopes, dreams, and all that other good stuff, right? But at times, though, all of us will be dealt cards that we don't necessarily want or what we were hoping for. So what can you do, or what do you do when you're dealt a hand that's not what you wanted? Or what can you do when you're dealt a hand that wasn't wanted? This is a really profound episode, and I kind of look at this, and there were a lot of things. These guys do a great job, but it really opens up your eyes. Like, you're dealt this hand, why? Well, this isn't the hand I want. Well, you're not just gonna. Can you throw it? I guess it kind of depends on the game that you're playing, right? But in this particular case, you're being dealt cards in the game of life. So what do you do? And the guys answer some of that. Some of those questions. So check it out. It's a great episode this week, Pushing Back Chaos. Next up, Environmentally Speaking. This has become a fan favorite on the network. A lot of people are really tuning into this podcast. This week is The Uncertainty on the Shores, Understanding Beach Closures in Rhode Island. Now, this is obviously shows located up in Rhode Island, Massachusetts area. So this is a lot to do with the northeast part of the United States. But a lot of the stuff that they cover on this show affects everything else everywhere else in the United States, especially coastal states. So this week they're talking about childhood camps that have been closed to the presence of bacteria, contaminated shellfish. It's all nasty, quite frankly. But what exactly is causing these closures, and why are some of the beaches affected while others still remain open? It was pretty interesting. Check it out, Environmentally Speaking. Next up, our friends from the MSEC podcast over at Military Child Education Coalition. This week they talk with this young lady, Amanda Najjar. She talks about her experience as a military-connected child and how the student-to-student program assisted her in feeling welcome as the new kid at school. If you're in the military and you got kids that are of age that are still in grade school, kindergarten through high school, you should follow Military Child Education Coalition. Go to militarychild.org or listen to the MSEC podcast. Have your kids listen to the MSEC podcast. They have so many great programs for military kids, and it's such an honor to be working with them now for the last 6 years. It's been great. So check it out, MSEC podcast. Show them some love. Next up, we got the Arms Room Show. This week, they're discussing creating standards and measurements for all emergencies preparation skills. I have not listened to all of this one yet, but this one here, they always do a great show. This one's I'm going to be listening to this one this afternoon. Arms Room Show. They're one of the HMG OGs. They were like one of the first shows on the network. Check it out. Love this show. Joe, let me see here. Jeez, a kindergarten, second grade, and a high school senior. Joe, that's quite a spread you got going on there, buddy. Joe, and also, I'm trying to keep a straight face because Joe's a good friend of mine. In all seriousness, Joe, go check out MSEC or go militarychild.org or have Andrea check it out because there's a lot of good resources for the kids that you guys can use right now. My input. Next up, we have Chasing Happiness. This week, Crossroads of Life and Finance, Making Bold Decisions in Shifting Times. This week, Terry, she's the founder of the Wellness Coach for Women. She reveals how crucial financial decisions are managed at life's pivotal junctures, whether it's a career change, it's a divorce, or you're planning for future goals. Terry shares her astute insights on how to kind of tread on these paths while maintaining financial stability. This was a great episode, and I learned a lot from this one. So check it out. It's the Chasing Happiness podcast. And next up, we got our man Joel Evan from the Joel Evan Show this week. Having trouble manifesting wealth and abundance. His guest is Daniel Mangetta. I hope I said that right. Probably didn't, so forgive me. He breaks down the most common pitfalls on how to overcome these money blocks. This was an awesome episode. And again, after this show, I'll come back on here and post all these, or you can go to heroesmediagroup.com, click on podcast, and you can find the show right now. This one is the Joel Evans Show. Great episode. Great episode. Next up, we have Rise Up, Voices from the Front Lines. This week's guest is Keith Hanks. He's a firefighter, mental health advocate, and a documentary screenwriter. He's lived horrors and joys of the first responder lifestyle firsthand. He's battled the effects of accumulated stress and critical incident exposure, which has led to PTSD, and has paid a heavy price for his public service. He lives to share his experiences so others can better prepare before the damage is done. Great episode. This one came out last night. Rise Up, Voices from the Front Lines. It's from our friends over at Battle to Be. Check it out. I think you'll like this one. Excuse me. Next up, we got Label Free Podcast. Deanna, I love her so much. She's such a great person. Good friend. She does a couple of episodes during the week. Most recent one yesterday, Understanding Cross-Dressing and Dual Gender Identity. They have her guests this week have a candid, enlightening conversation about living a label-free life and the misunderstanding surrounding dual gender roles. Learned a lot, and some of you are going to take that mindset. Don't. It's an interesting. It was an interesting episode. Check it out. Label Free Podcast. Next up, we got Because Bikers Matter. Vegas, I love it. My man Dave, love it. This week, Joining Forces, Ruck Chicago, and K9s for Veterans. Really cool episode. Veronica Lipinski is a philanthropist involved with various charities. They discuss Rock Chicago and the concept of the 7 degrees of separation within the motorcycle and veteran communities. This was a really cool episode. Check it out, Because Bikers Matter. Next up, we have Time to Shine Today with our man Scott Ferguson. This week, Unleashing the Growth Mindset, Inspiring Action, and Learning. Nicole is the co-founder and the COO of Webinar Ninja, an independent SaaS company that has served over 1 million webinar attendees and hosts. She is also the co-founder and producer of the $100 MBA show, which is one of the best on iTunes. It's won several awards, and it's got over 100 million downloads. Nicole is also the co-host of the Nicole and Kate Can Relate podcast. Nicole was an educator who decided to apply her teacher skills to independent business building. Now she helps other aspiring entrepreneurs turn their own goals into a reality. Great episode. Time to shine today. Check it out. Next up, we only got a couple left. Stay with me, guys and gals. We got your 6 at 6 with our friends over at the People Patriot Project every Sunday night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. This past week, they had David Ogden with Patriot Dad Fitness, and he shares his story about health and how to make changes in your life for the better. Then they had the entire cast, minus one, of Die Tired. They share some of their music, starting with Better Off Alive, and then they share a premiere live version of their newest single coming out August 25th called Slow Down. And then they wrap the show up with their friend Jason Steer, who was there to throw out some information about an event he has coming up September 9th called Hero Stock. Check it out, our friends, the People's Patriot Project, every Sunday night, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, live right here on the old Facebook. Last but not least, we got the S3 with JD. He's going to be doing a show tonight or tomorrow. He's got your college sports, your professional sports. And listen, it's sports, it's NFL. It's the most wonderful time of year, right? Because sports are back. When I say sports are back, well, Adam, what are you talking about? Lacrosse has been going on. Soccer's been going on. Baseball's been going on all year. No, I'm talking about football, folks. I'm talking about football. Football's back. It's coming back. It's here. We're there. We're everywhere. Speaking of football, shout out to West Point. Looking forward to the West Point football season this year. We're going to be going up there a few times for some of their home games. So stay tuned for that, as we're going to have some interviews and stuff coming up with them. Big shout out to our sponsors. Got to pay the bills. Check out our sponsors. Go follow them on their Facebook pages. My Tax Fella, HMG Beverage, Carrabba's down in Fayetteville. This is the one on Sycamore Dairy Road. Thank you. Alibi Tattoo, Honor Brewing, Forget Genetics. By the way, Forget Genetics. If you go to Forget Genetics and you make a purchase, hit use HMG and get 10% off. So you'll absolutely you'll love it. I promise. Forget Genetics. Gotta Hold Brewing. Feed the people, buy the people. Independence Bourbon. Go to independence-bourbon.com. Check them out. And then our newest sponsors, we have Jim Neary's Bait and Tackle, and then we have Warriors on the Water, LTD. Go check them out. And there's one more. Give me just a second here. I'm going to pull them up. We have a new affiliate program or group that we're working with, and they've been absolutely phenomenal to work with. It's a little early working with them with some of their stuff. You're going to see more and more of their stuff coming out, but Sisu Stamina, and you could see them on our website. And if you use promo code HEROES10, you're going to get 10% off. And I'm going to post all the new sponsors coming up here this week, and I'll leave a link for all of them. So check them out as well. So great week this week as far as content, news, and stuff like that. Shows are great. The shows were great this week. Again, reminder, if you're going to be in Colorado next week, I'd love to meet up with you. Let me know where you're going to be at. Let's meet up. I'm going to be in Denver. Mile High City, right? Isn't that what they call it? Denver, Mile High City. So let's link up. Thank you to all of you who have purchased the coffee. Again, right now, our sister company, HMG Beverage, they have a 20% off on all their coffee blends from now until August 31st. So if you want coffee, you better jump on it. Use promo code, what is it? Back to school. Use promo code BACK, the number 2, school, and you'll get 20% off your purchase. So that's it, guys. That's all the time I got today. I hope you guys have a wonderful and blessed weekend. Stay tuned because I'm going to have some highlights from Podcast Movement in Denver next week. May even go live while I'm there at the event. So stay tuned for all of that. And then here in a couple minutes, I'll have all the shows that we talked about today in the links below. If you got topics and stuff that you want me to talk about, send us a DM. If you're a podcaster or an author and we would love to work with you, reach out to us. Let's set up a meeting and let's make that happen. All right. God bless you. God bless America. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you guys next week.